So here's an earth box after growing. You just come along and you cut off whatever's left, add some leaves. We're gonna open this up, till the soil, and put some plants back in. So if you're going to rejuvenate an earth box, it's important to try to remove some of the roots. Now in a normal garden in the ground, you may be inclined to leave the roots so that they decompose and they provide habitat for microorganisms. But in a box like this, those roots can only really just get in the way. And so you try to remove the roots so you have room for new ones, but you leave behind the soil. So you clean off what's there and kind of break that soil up again to relieve any compaction. And make sure you check at the bottom because those roots can snake all the way down into that reservoir over time. And then you're just breaking up any clods or clumps of soil and just kind of getting everything nice and smooth. Now in order to add a bit more fertility, I go to the worm bin and I pull apart the worm castings. And I don't need too much, so I can be meticulous. I can take my time and I can pull the worms out. And one of the things I'm looking for are worm cocoons, those little lemon-shaped spheres. I want to leave those behind as well. And I take my castings and I put it in to the garden bed and try to mix it into the surface layers of the soil and just try to amend a little bit, add a bit of fertility and a bit of life. This soil is already in decent shape. I'm not too worried about not enough nutrients, and so it's just to give it a little boost. And then you want to fill up the reservoir, and in my experience, if the reservoir is completely empty, it can take about 3 gallons, 2.5 gallons to get the bottom all the way filled. All right, so we are going to plant twice as much as it tells us to. We're going to put 6 head lettuce and 6 bib lettuce in a single container. Oh, hello. Hello. Come on. Come on. So as I remove the lettuce from the container they came in, I lay them out so that way I can visualize the space that they'll need. So I lay them all out before I put them in. And I tried using a trowel to dig the hole, but really this soil is so, this potting media is so loose that you don't need it. And I just used my hands. And I pull one side back and tuck the plant in, and then make sure I push around the plant with plenty of pressure because I want it to stand upright. I don't want it to be droopy and hitting the soil surface. And I also want that pressure to be kind of firm around the plant so that way I can tuck the other ones in between. Come on. Come on. And then I lay the other ones out in between, and I'm literally just trying to go evenly spaced between all of the head lettuce. That's where I'll put a bib lettuce. And the theory is I can cut those sooner and let the heads get large over time. And I pushed nice and firm on the head lettuce so that way I can tuck the other ones in between and there won't be much of an issue by spacing them so closely, at least initially. And you take your time and you go slow and feel free to move things around if they should be moved a little bit. The key here is to give enough pressure so that all the plants are facing upright, but not so much pressure, obviously, that you break the plant and you're not trying to bury the plant either. And then this is the first and only time you will water from up above. So right when you put these plants in the ground, they may not be long enough to wick down into the reservoir. And so you need to give them some water from up above just to get things established. And you're welcome to use any kind of water you like. The tap water is okay, it's fine. I find it convenient to use like a Brita filter. I use that to drink out of anyway, and so I can easily just fill one up and walk out to the garden and give them some filtered water.